What's going on YouTube? My name is Marcus, aka Apostle, and today I am bringing you more viewer submitted fight breakdowns. We are going to start off with Kajik here, but first off, I want to let you guys know, if you are a sub to my Twitch stream, you probably already know, but if you connect your Twitch to your Discord, you'll get the Twitch sub role in the Discord, and it'll allow you to submit breakdowns, or fights, for me to break down. So yeah, if you guys are interested in our subs and want your fight to be featured here and have me tell you what you did right and what you did wrong, then yeah, that's how you do it. Anyways, let's get into it. We actually have Kajik here in chat. He did say he upped his bitrate after this, so it's a little bit of a blurry clip. I have yet to watch any of these, so I'm going to try to give pointers as I see. But yeah. Oh, it's a very small final zone. He catches this guy hiding underneath. It is very hard to see what's going on here. Hits him with a snipe. He took a boulder to the head and took some lightning strikes. I do want to go back to that. So I don't know if you knew where this guy was, but in this situation, you should always try to get the high ground in final zone, and you're on like the bare low ground, so that's like a big mistake here, and that's what allowed him to find you easier and drop this boulder on your head. And you shadow step kind of in a weird direction. You don't really like break line of sight there from the lightning or the stone. You could have shadow stepped up top here. You could have went up on the high ground. But that was kind of a wasted shadow step. Didn't really get you out of the way of damage, other than like the 1 second you were invisible. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, you got to be careful when you're casting your sorceries, because you do carry momentum. So especially final zone there. Careful not to get carried out. I think going in there was a good idea. You're taking the high ground now, which is good. I think fighting in here and using maybe these boxes to your left right here would be good. Or you can stay up. You see this ledge that you're on right now. You could stay up here on this ledge, or there's actually a beam right here. It's kind of hard to see in this clip. But you can stay up on those high ground inside, which doesn't really give him a whole lot of room to work with his lightning. You have fire and frost, so if you bait him into there, you can actually pop your frost sorcery and freeze him, which will protect you from lightning, or just blow him up with fire. And being up on that little high ground, little beam that I was talking about, would allow you to do that with being safe from his stone and relatively safe from his lightning as well. You're really low HP, so you are like, it looks like you're actually one shot, unless he has a really bad stone gauntlet. I would not have done that. Right here, if you saw him potting, or we're trying to check, you could have used your flame wall to kind of drop on him there, or just shot fireballs down. A lot of times you don't even have to hit somebody with them. You just have to get close, and they'll get scared and they'll stop potting. So giving up the high ground, I'd say, was a big mistake there. What you could do is, he has to come up to you. Oh, you gotta be careful. Oh no. Oh no, you're floating out and the zone ticks hard.
Oh my god.
Oof.
No.
That was close. You could actually saved yourself here. After you hit this shot, if you just shadow step forward, you could have saved yourself, but that was really close. I think towards the end you did better there.
God.
I think just maintaining the high ground, a lot of people do that where they give up the high ground to stop a potion, or do just basically can't find their enemy, so they get impatient, and it's something I do a lot. So basically just trying to keep the high ground and kind of bait him into where you want to be instead of trying to find him. You can kind of use your gauntlets and your abilities to show him where you're at, and also disrupt his potions. You did have 9 kills though, so that's nice. But yeah, you could have disrupted him and kind of told him where you're at and made him push you and use that to bait him. But yeah, I think overall it wasn't terrible. I think the biggest thing was just the high ground. Do you have any questions? You also gotta be careful of your floatiness. While you're charging up your frost, you float. While you are casting sorceries, you float and you'll like carry momentum. Does that make sense? Or do you have anything like specific that you needed? Or that you had in mind that you're trying to fix? What you could have also done too. This is a very weird end zone because you have this tower in the zone. So he doesn't necessarily have to push you here. He doesn't know your health, but he could have just tried to out heal you. He didn't have to push you, but you could have shadow stepped up and sorcery hovered, so just hold your sorceries in the air and look down at him, and that would have given you even more high ground over this and a little bit more just information, right? Thank you about answer what I figured. Needed some confirmation on my own thoughts. Need to use my offhand gauntlet more and definitely make better use of elevation. Yeah, as you're getting towards the end as Frostborn, your sorcery becomes really useful because you could actually, if we go back to this beginning here, when you get hit with the boulder and this strike right here, you could have, right here you get hit, you see him up there. If your first instinct was to pop your sorcery, you would have still taken the boulder hit, but you would have been invulnerable because your level 3 ice ability makes you invulnerable while you're casting it. So it would have tanked that. You wouldn't have taken any damage, and then he would have actually fallen into it and then become frozen. So that's something that I've actually been working on myself a lot more, is use your ice sorcery to be able to tank shots and disrupt people that are pushing you really hard. Yeah, I think that's the main of it. Let's move on. All right, let's get Phantom Souls video up here. Another PS4 player. Thanks for submitting, Kajik. So let's watch this. I haven't seen this fight yet. He's got Flight. He's a Frostborn again. Legendary Wind, which is actually pretty good on controller. It's just easier to hit more like rapid fire gauntlets, I would think, than to hit flick fireballs. But like right here, you can see this guy has what's it called? Fortitude. He has Fortitude. It's hard to tell in the video, but definitely in game you can see he's got like a blue sheen. So right here, he could have just, instead of wasting this whole time charging up, what he could have done is just released it, tried to hit him with it, and then hit him with a quick wind shear. It would have used less mana, and it would have been more guaranteed. He did hit him and break his shield off, so that's good. He's kind of struggling here. He got a little too close to the Tempest player. And he's very focused on this guy up here. There was a guy behind him firing stuff. He's very... Oh, that was a nice shot. He's playing like me right now. He's very kill aggressive. He does have 10 kills, so I don't blame him. He's gonna drop a pretty high kill gameplay, and then when you get in these situations, you just want to like start running at everybody. But if you're trying to survive, being super kill aggressive is an easy way to die. Like trying to guarantee you get the kills. That was a decent sorcery to block that wind, but I don't know if it was necessarily worth it. He could have waited a little bit longer. Doesn't look like he needs it though. He's got 7 more seconds. There's somebody sneaking up behind him that he can hear. I don't know if he actually heard it, but I definitely heard that there was somebody that was like right behind him. Doing a good job disengaging, popped a pot. Good job taking high ground. He did give up the high ground. He jumped and floated for not really a whole lot of reason there. So I would say don't do that. If he could have just... Let's rewind real quick. So right here, there is no reason for him to jump off the high ground other than style points. This guy's flying, so all he had to do was charge up his ice, and he could have had an easier shot. He wouldn't have been strafing, and then he wouldn't have lost the high ground and taken that boulder. So now he's on the low ground against 2 stone players, which is bad. He's doing good at using his flight to give himself opportunity to hit frost shots. He's got to be careful, though, because he does know both these guys are using stone. So if he doesn't have a flight, he can easily get stuck. Right there. So right here, this is something big. If you guys use frost, you just wanna make sure you're using your sorcery. So see, he pops out lightning. Immediately pop your frost sorcery, because if someone's lightning spamming you, wind spamming you, or shooting fireballs at you, you can pop your frost and it'll block you in a donut shape. So they can shoot in from above or below, but they can't shoot in. It's a donut shape. I don't know how else to say it. They can't shoot like directly at him. So what he could have done is just popped his sorcery and then done this same exact thing. It ended up working out. He did take a stone shot right there. So maybe being a little bit more aware of the stone would be big. If I was him in this situation, there's 2 things I would do. I would either push out over here and get up here to avoid the stone, or I would try to get up top. I feel like he's moving around. Sorry. I feel like he's moving around just a little bit too much. There's a little bit too much just unnecessary movement. He's constantly moving when he doesn't necessarily need to be. Chasing down, making sure he gets the vital stone. So wind spamming him down. He took a lot of damage there. I think maybe on this vital stone too. I don't know how comfortable they feel, but if you just charged up your ice here and then tried to hit an ice snipe, it may have been better. His recovery kind of screwed you. I think he has... he might have not had recovery. But he had like 1 HP there, which made you take a lot of damage. Oh, that was dangerous. Chasing really, really hard, which is a dangerous move. He's got the high ground now. Smart. I did actually hear that guy was there, so I don't know what kind of headset you have, Phantom, but maybe turning it up a little bit, or if you don't have a headset, getting a headset would help you a lot, or even just some like earbuds. That was solid. I mean, you played that well. There's a few small mistakes. You came out with the wind and honestly barely even touched. If you really wanted to find this guy, you could have used your flight again to go up in the air and snipe him. But overall, I'd just say maybe a little bit too much movement. Just sit still a little bit more. And that unnecessarily giving up the high ground, again, is a big thing. For Frostborns, it's a lot of the same stuff. You really want to keep the high ground. You really want to use your sorcery when someone's trying to spam you down. And then he could have used his Alacrity Trail here as well. So you could have shot a trail out this way, more towards the middle of the zone, and that would have allowed you to chase a little bit easier. Because if you jump off your Alacrity Trail, you actually do keep momentum. That was a really, really good DF NATO, or DF there. What I like to do as well, if I have wind, is throw down, when someone has Vital Stone, throw down a tornado right here. And because they're not going to be able to hover up this, the tornado's just going to keep pulling them back into it, and then you'll have an easier target and would have been able to finish them easier. So just a little bit more sorcery usage. and a little bit less movement are my big things. Are you in here, Phantom? I don't know if you're actually in chat. I'm not sure if that's even your chat name. I don't think Phantom is in here. Zyron said it too. Yeah, I think the biggest problem is you just stated you need to slow down and chill. Confidence is a real factor. Oh wait, no, this is for the next clip. Low kill count because it's 23 bot match, 19 actual players in the game. Okay, I mean, kill count isn't too big. Another 3-minute one. Running, we got another Frostborn. Lots of Frostborns today. He's running Frost with Toxic on PC, which is basically my favorite build. Shadow Step, good. He's basically running my exact build that I really like. So he's in a really good spot here. Traps this guy. I don't know how much I would have wanted to push in that tunnel there. Or are these just clips? I think these are just clips. But for this first clip right here, I wouldn't push in here. You don't want to go into places where you're very predictable. Especially like, if this guy had stone right here, you're basically dead. He could have just stone slammed you to death. You could have done almost nothing about it. You could have shadow stepped backwards, but you still would have taken a crazy amount of damage. Like, all of these fireballs here were pretty unnecessary, and you took all of the damage because you went in that tunnel. So tunnels are not good. Try to avoid that. Final zone. He's got 2 other people left. Oh, I thought he was gonna hit that. That would have been nice. That was a nice shot on the flyer. Those shots into the sun are tough. Ooh. Gotta be careful not to panic Shadow Step. You took an extra. You took 1 tick of storm damage and then panicked and took another one. So, a lot of things that I notice, especially with newer players, I don't know if you're newer or not, but just in general I see, is people are very, very scared of the zone. So, I mean, right now you should be scared of the zone. You're taking a lot of damage. But I think overall, I think even earlier in the game, you may have been scared of the zone as well. The zone does not do a lot of damage until you get into this, like, very late game. You can usually, other than, like, the last 2 circles, you can usually tank it and heal through it. So the zone isn't that big of a threat. It looks like your frost shot went right through him there. That's unfortunate. I would definitely be trying to get up on this tower right now. You do know both of them have flight, so you can make them waste their flight to get up to you. Oh, you're back in the zone again. So zone awareness, for sure, is a big thing here. Zone awareness and not taking the high ground. So they both have flight, right? That was a good sorcery. Unfortunately, he was inside of it, so he was able to shoot in before he got frozen. But you froze him, got a nice shot off, and then we're able to finish him off. So not a bad sorcery usage. I think you actually tanked that. Let me see. One more back, right? Yeah, so see, look, he's got 65 HP. If you look on the bottom left, he pops his sorcery, takes a fireball to the face, takes no damage, takes another fireball, takes no damage. So this is really good sorcery usage. And then is able to get him while he's frozen. People panic when they're frozen. So that was like perfect right there. Definitely a really good use of your sorcery. I would be up on top of this right now. That was dangerous again. I think for what's happening, you're taking a lot of damage to zone. And I think it's because you're moving too much left and right and like forward and backwards, and not enough up and down to avoid damage. If you move more vertically, another really good sorcery use right there. That was really good. You did get trapped there. You do want the kill, but you're playing smart. You're potting up, making sure that you don't overextend. You know he's low. You know that he has to push you. Right now, you're doing kind of nothing, right? So while you're potting, this whole time right here, this whole time, you know he dropped down. Look at the ground. Look straight down, because you're going to be able to see him. Like right here, you're staring at nothing. So he can sneak up on you really easily. And you know he's somewhere right down below you. So you should be looking down trying to find him this whole time you're potting. Because he's not going to take the stairs back up to you. The stairs are outside the zone. He'll die. So you know he's basically below you. You should be looking down almost that entire time. Like, that was probably 15, 20 seconds of just wasted information there. And see, watch when he gets up here too, right? So if you were looking down, like, you're getting no information. You're just staring at the wall. If you're looking down over the edge right now, he's levitating up towards you. You would have seen him levitating. He's out of mana. He gets up here, he's out of mana completely. So you would have been able to slap him on the way up, which would have prevented him from coming up to you, or if he kept coming up to you, you would have been able to slap him again. So you probably would have been able to kill him if you were just looking down. So that's a huge, huge mistake there. You get stuck in the sorcery. May have wanted to give up high ground for that one. That was a lot of damage to tank. Either give up high ground, right? Or at least pop your sorcery. Right here, pop your sorcery. You'll take probably 2 of them still, but you took all 5 to the face. You have a cloud that you can throw down to disrupt him. Good sorcery use. You froze his cloud, he's stuck. He's stuck. That was pretty solid. That was a, I mean, you got through it. The big thing was this whole time. Let's see, like, how long this actually was. So after you take this here, it's 235 all the way up to, it's literally 15 seconds of you staring at the wall instead of trying to get information on him. You could have also thrown down a toxic cloud below you. There's a staircase down there that allows him to levitate up a little bit easier. You could have thrown down a toxic cloud down there, which would have made it harder for him to get back up to you. You could have accidentally hit him with it. Or if you saw him while he was invisible, you could have broke his invisibility. But yeah, this isn't bad. The big thing there is make sure you're scouting while you're potting. And I'd say just work on your vertical movement and be careful with your sideways shadow steps. Your storm awareness is a little bit needs some work, but there's not a whole lot that you can do to improve that other than just being aware. And then instead of moving sideways with your dashes or your shadow steps, you can look up and you can shadow step up into the air. So, yeah, that's the main. Oh, you're in chat too. Cool. You have any questions? About a week or 2 into this game. Nice, that was solid. I didn't know what to do there with the strike. Yeah, in these small zones, the strikes can be intense. What you can actually do too is you can use your levitate, like your sorcery hover. So if you jump up, I just brought that up. I don't know if you were here, but if you jump up and you hold your sorcery without casting it, you'll float. So you could have, like when he's striking you and he's right on top of you, you could have shadow stepped out and then kind of hovered in the air and forced him back into his own sorcery. You can usually use conduit sorceries against them in the final zone if you just put pressure on them. Does that all make sense? Or do you have anything like specific that you need to answer or questions? I knew he was coming on the side and waited with the freeze. Yeah, you did good. Your frost sorceries were really, really good. Sounds good? Cool. Alright, next one. Nahale. Oh, this is an entire gameplay. So we're gonna skip that one. Cause it's 20 minutes long. We'll do Jethro's. He sent me that funny fracture clip last time. Are you in here, Jets? You are. You're literally right there. Cool. Final zone. 4 people left. Running Tempest with fire. Are you playing on... You're playing on headset mode? Like your audio is set to headset? Or you're playing on speakers? Interesting. It sounds... Your audio sounds weird. So maybe try the other setting. It's speaker now? You already switched it? Okay. I missed this whole fight. So you're kind of just right here. You're kind of just standing in the open. Like if a stone guy snuck up to you, I'd be trying to take this building towards the end zones. You really want to look for a strong place to fight. He drops a shock on you. I'd be careful going into the air against lightning. So where you're at right here, I would, instead of going up, I would maybe try to go down below this rock here because it's a little ledge that you can get down and force him to push you. And then once he's on you, you can break him down with your wind or your fire. You can also throw a tornado on him and then he'll shock his own tornado and shock himself. So that's a decent little fire tornado. Nice use of movement. I don't know if I would have done it so much there because you kind of lost track of him a little bit. Hit some really nice fireballs. That was good. You got right on top of him, blew him up. That's what you got to do against lightning players. That's the thing about like lightning and stone users is they usually don't know how to use their other gauntlets very well. So if you can run up on them, you can usually blow them up because they tend to rely on their 2 gauntlets. Or their 1 gauntlet. It's good getting on top of him, trying to hit some curved fireballs. Maybe instead of tornadoing there, I would have just used my wind shears. Honestly, you were in like a really, really good position to do a lot of damage with your wind there, and stay on his head, get your squall. Playing patient, you don't really know where everybody is, so this is probably smart. Is that a big pot? Yeah, you completely wasted a big pot for 8 health. I don't know if I would have even taken a small pot there. So that might come into play later. Be careful, be aware of your potions. I would have probably just taken shields there, and I would still be taking shields here. So you took the dragon fire. You kind of started fighting across the map there, which took your attention off of... You got kind of tunnel visioned on that guy in the air, trying to do damage on him. And then you shot at him, which told everybody where you're at. So it allowed that guy to jump you. You took another big pot there, which I think may have been too much. Oh no. That was dangerous. I thought you were going in the fracture again. Right here, that guy in the tunnel. I would move over here, turn, or you don't have to go over here, but personally I would put my back to the zone. I would turn and I would put my firewall through this tunnel right here. It forces him out. It either forces him to take a bunch of damage. He may have to push into zone, because usually people panic. I think he's trapped in there if you throw a firewall on him. So he either has to go out into zone, or tank your firewall. So if you ever see anybody in tunnels and you have flame, it's like really, really good habit to drop your flame wall in the tunnel. It would also, it's 15 seconds of knowing people aren't going to come through here and forcing them out that way, away from you and into each other. Ooh, that was a good DF NATO. Because flame walls do last 15 seconds, which is like a crazy amount of time. I wouldn't have done that. This is very minor movement stuff, but see, so you see he's here and you see the other guy's over here, and what you do is you go straight, right? So you're going right in between them. You're basically pushing yourself right here. You're pinched now. What I would have done is I see this as the safest place to fight from and to hold. And it's also really good with Tempest because you can use this pole, you can use all the walls to wind jump off of. So I would have rotated around this way and hug the wall and pushed this guy into the guy that's behind you. So right now you're super pinched. What am I doing? I'm pressing A instead of the left arrow. So you push up into this. He teleports underneath you. Flame wall again. You could flame wall right through that and he panics. And you know he's most likely going to panic and run out this way because it's a closer exit. Probably take some storm damage while he's at it. So you could use your sorceries to force them into each other. Flame wall again. Using your fireball there wasn't terrible either. But you can really do, with tunnels like that, your flame wall is big area denial. You're kind of pushing out, getting pinched with that guy. You know he's still in the building. I would just push that guy in the tunnel, honestly, or put a bunch of pressure into him. Gotta be careful with your wind jump there. Zone management, that was really good wind shears. Right here, I'd be doing everything possible to get out of the fight. As soon as you see them fighting each other, you pot up. That's really good. You're keeping an eye on him while you're potting, making sure you're not taking unnecessary damage. If you see somebody with Toxic and you're running Wind, and you're running Tempest with Flame, you can wait and bait out their Toxic slap, and then drop a tornado right as they slap, and it'll eat the Toxic, and then you can fireball them and you can DF NATO them. That's one of the easiest ways to get DF NATOs off. This guy you're about to pop, I knew it. Good movement there. The double DF NATO. You gotta be careful not to do that. If you accidentally went into that, you're timed up with this perfect, right? So you would have taken that entire DF NATO and you would have died. I mean, even one probably would have killed you. You had the high ground on that guy. Oh yeah, careful. This is where tornadoes get really dangerous. That was a good fight overall. I mean, I think I hit basically everything I wanted to talk about there. I mean, the only thing I didn't really talk about was being just careful with the storm, but that happens. Do you have any specific questions? DF NATO is a Dragonfire tornado. It's toxic. It's a tornado with toxic and fire. It's this, right? Where was the double one? It's like right here, right? So see, this is toxic. And then see how it explodes? It's a big explosion. It does a lot of damage. Just tweak little positioning stuff, it seems. Yeah. Being more aware of taking, like, power positions. Power, like, locations, I guess is a better way to say it. Where is the damage box for the tornado? It starts at the bottom and works its way up. So if you're wind jumping, it'll blow you up the whole time. It'll literally one-shot you if you get caught in it. Is that good, Jets? Or do you have anything else that you want to ask? Real time, this felt great. Watching back, I noticed all the mistakes and luck. Thank you for the analysis. Definitely, man. I mean, it happens. Going back and watching your old gameplay is a really good way of seeing mistakes that you're making. Overall, it was pretty good, though. All right, we got Octanix. This is before you change your name, Octanix. Is Octanix in here? He was earlier. He is not. Okay. So we'll just watch it. Frostborn on console, running Toxic, Shadow Step. Basically same build as I really like to run. Right there. Again, really good time to use sorceries. He took a lot of damage. I would have popped a sorcery as soon as he fell on me right now. It would have froze him. It would have blocked his wind there. He may have needed to pop it a little bit in the air to block the wind, but I think it still would have blocked it. His scavenging's giving him a lot. You could still pop his sorcery here. Nice shot. Nice shot again. He's out mechanicking? I don't know the word that I'm looking for. He's basically just like, yeah, I hit those, right? That's what's winning him the fights over making smart decisions. Which is good. This is smart of him to take the high ground. High ground again. I would have used my Toxic there a little bit more. I would have Shadow Stepped up onto this high ground. Toxic slapped him here. Right, and then Toxic slapped him again. And probably stayed on the high ground. So a little bit more offhand usage would be nice. He's a little reliant on the Frost more than the Toxic. Trying to freeze that guy with his own sorcery, I think, at least. Which is smart. You can actually check to see if somebody has Harmony, which will prevent the freeze. If you do damage to him, it'll have a little purple down arrow next to it, and that means they have Harmony. Because that's the only thing that negates damage. Nice shot. Really good use of the high ground. Don't know if I would give that up. Nice shot again. Nice shot again. Yeah, so overall pretty good. Really nice shots. I would just say just that one, giving up the high ground and being a little too reliant on your Frost. I mean, you're making it work and you're hitting the shots, but Frost can be pretty inconsistent if you're not careful. This float was pretty good. I don't know if I would have Shadow Stepped so far out there. I'm really nitpicking at this point. I would have Shadow Stepped straight up, which would have given me a little bit better of an angle. So I would have been maybe about this far out of this ledge and then gone for the shot, so it wouldn't have given up total high ground. He gave up all of it when he could have landed up here or even down here and still had some high ground. But that's just really nitpicking. He knew he had this fight won. I want to watch this part again. Good Toxic. Good sorcery. You don't have to throw your sorcery right on lightning people. If you throw it down like right in between you guys, oftentimes they'll shock themselves, and since you're running Harmony, you can play around them being shocked, and you can play close to the Toxic Cloud without getting shocked. Right here, instead of creating distance, right here, I see he has lightning. I run at him. I immediately run because you have your Frost sorcery and you have your Toxic slap that you can do damage with. So I would either pop my sorcery here to block the lightning or push him really hard. Or you can push him really hard and then pop your sorcery. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty solid. I think maybe against this guy with the stone, I would have jumped up here. I'm just like really nitpicking right now. Overall, it's well played. You got out. You didn't stay on the same level as the stone guy. You created distance. You used your Frost to third party the fight. You made sure you weren't the focus. secured the kill on this guy, made sure he didn't heal up. That guy basically shot himself. Right here, a little too reliant on your frost, but overall solid, honestly. And then we can do the first minute of this for Drolix. Are you still in here, Drolix? Outplaying is generally considered more about positioning and game sense. Here is mostly mechanical skill to showcase outside of his usage of high ground. Yeah. When I was saying he was like out mechanical skill, it's like he's using his aim. That's like why Shroud is really good at a lot of games too, is because his aim is just naturally really good. So while he's learning the game sense and learning what to do, he can crutch on his aim. He can just out aim everybody. And then he's also just learns games really quickly and then becomes not mechanically skilled, but the opposite of mechanically. He gets a really good in-depth game sense fast. But I mean, the game sense wasn't bad there. It's good that you have the high ground. Good firewall to, I'm assuming that guy was toxic. I'm not sure, but good firewall to protect yourself. Didn't allow him to get off the Dragonfire. That was kind of a wasted harmony. Or not harmony, I always call it harmony. A wasted flash freeze. He's above you. This is a tough fight. A very tough fight. Nice job potting there. You could have stayed right on him, but that was a little dangerous. Nice shot. A lot happened really quickly there. So you hit that guy. You can see he's toxic next to his health. It's really hard to tell in game when that's actually happening. You know he's toxic. You get down a fire puddle and then a fire wall and then take the high ground with your dash, which prevents you taking the Dragonfire. Really good. And you hit a fireball on him. He blows himself up. That was really well played. Was he playing teleport? Was that what just happened there? He was. Teleport on toxic. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really agree with that. Especially this late into the game, that guy shouldn't have been playing teleport. It's so easy to just accidentally teleport outside of the zone and kill yourself this late in the game. I don't know if I would have wasted your dash there. I'm gonna have to get really nitpicky again here. You kind of stopped potting for no reason. You wasted the dash. And you gave up the high ground. I would have just, right here, shot a fireball down and then used these as cover. And then you would have your dash up more. You wasted another dash right here. You're like preemptively dodging, but he's not even really doing much. And then that sorcery was not the best. So I'd say that's your big mistakes. Maybe be careful not to overuse your dashes when you don't need them. Nice shot. You probably would have hit that fireball too.
Marcus is a terrible person. You guys should hate him. Brr.
I would have maybe tried to take the high ground while he was vital stoning, so that way you didn't lose track of him, but you got lucky and he didn't get away, and then you hit a really nice frost shot there. Yeah, well played. Is there anything you have questions about on that, or the main thing there was really just be careful not to waste your dashes and your sorceries. Hey, Candy, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate you. Use my creator code. Thank you. I appreciate you. I think that's it. I think that's all of them.
No, Marcus is a terrible person. You guys should hate him. Brr.
Eat and delete. Thank you for the prime. All right, then. Well, YouTube, If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as check out the Twitch stream down in the description below. If you want to use my creator code, it's in the top right. It only works on PC. And if you're subbed to the Twitch and you want to submit a fight for me to break down for another video, be sure to link your Discord and you'll unlock this sub fight breakdown section that you can submit the fights in. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you later. Bye. Even though I was here, I'm gonna go to YouTube and watch the video anyways. Nice.